That's Q100, Bert Show, 837. Hey, Allie, you're on Q100.
Hello. I won tickets to Sara Bareilles. I never picked them up, so if Brittany wants them, she can have them.
Yes! You can go to the show!
Thank you!
How sad has this just gotten? I mean, that we can't get tickets to the show.
There is this...
From our own promotions department, and a listener has to give you her tickets
I know.
that she won, probably off your show.
Well,
Sarah, do you hear what's going on here? Like, she went back to
I don't know how to contribute. I really don't. I can't.
She's like, sorry,
It's not Sarah's fault.
sold out. Yeah, sold out show for a long time.
Do you have an inside track that you might be able to throw her a bone and get her a ticket or two? I mean, because we don't have any contacts at the radio station that can get her tickets.
Yeah,
I don't either, actually. No, we'll make it work.
Her mom was going to come, and her mom actually can't even get into the show because it's... No, I'm kidding. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I didn't know if you were serious or not. Because if you were playing tonight at Variety, I would say that's probably true.
Jeff's microphone is really deep. Can I just say that for a second?
Hey, Brittany, it's not about you. It's about Sara Bareilles, right?
Okay. Do you have a number one song? I don't think so. Zip it.
Sara Bareilles in studio at the Bert Show this morning. I was reading on your website yesterday, and we're going to talk about Twitter here in a couple of minutes because you have, if you're not familiar with Twitter, actually we can get into it now. If you're not familiar with Twitter, basically it's a website where you go and you text like just one line of what's going on in your life right now, and it's posted up online. And Sarah she's on Twitter. So you can go there and you could see some of the thoughts that she was having while she's been on the road for like the last year. And the great thing about Twitter is that, yes, it's just one line of what you're doing, but yes, it's just one line of what you're doing, so there's no elaboration on it at all. So it's great, and it sucks also. And one of your entries was that you just heard the song on July 17th, 2007. No big deal, just heard love song on the radio! And it's exclamation point all the way across, and it says, happy am I.
Oh.
So do you remember that? I mean, the first time that you heard it on the radio?
Yeah, actually, we randomly had we had our video cameras. I mean, we had our little digital cameras. We were in the van all together. The whole band was together, and we were in the parking lot of a Kinko's in Salt Lake City. We're getting ready to go mail something, or I don't know what we were doing. And the song came on, and we freaked out. There's a video of it on our website. We're like dancing and singing. I had my mom on the phone, or I had my mom's answering machine on the phone, and yeah, it was really, really fun.
So cute.
Big dorks.
Do you think there'll ever be a point where it's played and you're like, God, I wish they'd just move on? I can't stand to listen to my own music anymore.
I guess it's kind of a good. I'm very aware of it being a good problem to have. As much as I really do. I love the song. I'm proud of the song, but sure, I get freaking sick of it too. My dad is always. I have a 5-year-old little sister, and my dad she's kind of obsessed with the song. I think just because we're sisters, and
sister,
right, exactly. And he's like, if I hear that song one more time, Sarah, you're not allowed to come home for holidays anymore.
Now, as a songwriter, is it the song you think is going to be a hit that ends up being a hit, or one that you probably put together faster and never expected it to hit that height?
I didn't expect any of this at all. I mean, this is my only experience with anything like this, so I don't know what to compare it to. But in this particular case, I didn't even know if I would turn this song in. I had no idea, sort of if people were going to like it or respond to it. And I felt like because of the reason I wrote it, which is sort of about the record label and those frustrations, I didn't even know if they were going to like it or be mad at me or drop me from the label. I didn't know any of that. So this has all been very surprising.
See, I thought it was about a guy.
I did too.
Yeah, no. You're not alone. A lot of people
thought it was about, but it was really back at the label.
Yeah, it
was awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, now
you're such a rebel.
I know,
That's edgy.
right?
That's cool.
I'm so indie right now.
So it really is. It's there. So somebody was coming to you at the label saying, "Look, you need to write a love song." And you're not. I'm not going to do that for you.
No, it didn't happen exactly that way. I had just basically been told to keep writing to see what happens, and I turned in some new songs, and nobody was really that excited about them, and so I started to get really insecure about my own writing, and that was what got me so pissed off. I was so mad at myself for caring about what they were thinking and wanting to please them, that love song really came out of that sense of frustration. And I'm glad they liked it. I mean, thank God. I don't know what I would have done.
They don't care, man. They'll sell out like anybody else. Who cares if it's about us? If it's going to make some music or some money, let's go. Tell us about that day that you actually signed with the record label, because that's got to be, obviously, that's going to be an imprint in your mind for the rest of your life. So bring us to that day, like when you're driving to the record label, because my impression is you're sitting on one side of the table, there's a whole bunch of suits on the other side of the table, and there's one golden pen. You know?
That's kind of what I thought would happen, but it was actually a really short drive from my apartment to my attorney's office. And I go up to his office, and of course I'm peeing myself with nerves. I'm so nervous. I'm wondering, am I signing my life away? Is everything going to be ruined? What am I doing? But I'm just going through with it anyway. And so I'm sitting across from my lawyer, and there's like 5 big fatty contracts you have to sign. So everybody gets a copy, and I'm going through and signing on each line, and he's talking about God knows what. He's just like talking my ear off about something. I'm like, oh, do you realize I can't have a conversation right now? I'm so focused on the fact that I'm signing my life away and then I left his office, and I had a total panic attack. And, but then I kind of just realized, well, you did it. You made the choice. Now let's see what happens and work hard. See, it's not forever.
Was there ever a part of you where it's like, you know what? I'm just not going to go the label thing. I'm just going to do this on my own. And I don't want to be part of that.
I'm way too lazy.
Yeah.
I really am. And I have so much respect for people that do it themselves, that are those true independent artists that control and kind of facilitate all of those different facets of what has to go into this career. And there are people out there that do it and do it well, and I am just way too disorganized. I can't even balance my checkbook.
Sara Bareilles on the Bert Show, Q100.
I was reading on your bio yesterday, and on there you talk about how desperately you needed to learn to listen to yourself. And I'm quoting you now, however inexperienced and naive I may be, it sounds cliche, but that little voice is sometimes the only voice that's speaking the truth. So I'm curious about that voice in your head. How do you get in touch with it? And how can the rest of us learn from you getting in touch with that inner voice?
Oh, man. I don't know if I'm, able to give any advice, because I definitely struggle with it too. But I think everybody's just given that little bit of intuition. When you're given 2 choices in front of you, somewhere inside you have kind of a gut reaction to things, and I think somewhere along the line we learn to sort of suppress that and try to be really cerebral about making our choices and try to think through everything. And sometimes I think that initial gut reaction is really the most accurate. Mm-hmm. Or at least in the times where I've actually listened to that little voice, and made choices based on that, I've had the most rewards and the most success from those choices. Mm-hmm. Wow, this is like a weird new age moment,
right.
Isn't it?
No, I just love that part. I mean, I just thought that was such an interesting side of you that you exposed to your fans on your website and stuff. I just thought that was like a very evolved way of thinking and songwriting and that sort of thing.
All right, I'll make it shallow. So let's say on the opposite end of what Jen's talking about, when was the moment that you had these naysayers, the people said, I don't think you're that good or whatever, and then Love Song hits, and then you're like, you know what, see, like in your face.
I do remember certain people kind of giving me feedback on my early record. We did this first demo called Careful Confessions, and I was really proud of it, and I didn't. It was my first time in the studio and kind of sending it around to people trying to get feedback. And I definitely got really negative feedback. And there's one conversation that I have that is, emblazoned in my mind, where the guy basically said, you have a good voice and a lot of people have good voices. And I think that's pretty much all this is. And I was like,
ouch.
Oh my God.
Devastated.
Yeah, it was horrible. I mean, I felt so deflated. And then I was kicking myself, like, why am I... It was actually kind of a good thing, because it made me stop asking for everyone's opinion. I was like, why am I like chasing this? I'm to just focus on these shows and doing what I love and trying to get better at it. And then if it works for somebody, great. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy kind of doing what I'm doing. I don't need people to like beat me up. I'll do enough of that myself.
Right. All right. Sara Bareilles is in studio with us this morning. Give us a couple of minutes, and when we come in, she's going to do some stuff for you guys. You can't have her in there and have a Yamaha
Fancy keyboard.
ES8 and not have you use it.
Yeah, hello.
Sara Bareilles sings for you guys next.